Well, of course the library. Yeah, me too. Do you want to discover more about our school library? Oh, that's a good idea. Let's do this.
Good afternoon, Ms.Cullen. I'm a new student at SWIS. Can you please tell me how can I find a book in the library?
Sure. Why don't we take a tour?
Yeah, great.
Sure.
Okay, all right. So this is the non-fiction collection, and the non-fiction collection is organised by Dewey Decimal numbers. And so you'll see just right behind us where this is the 800 section, and these books are all literature. You'll find some Shakespeare, some plays, some tips on how to be a good writer there. And then we have the 900 section, which is history and geography. If you want to find out about a place in the world, you could come here, or about the past, of course. We've got a fantastic biography section, and maybe you remember when you were in grade 5, you probably used these books for your living museum. You remember that? And so we've got lots of really, really great books about people. Just on our way past, this is our circulation desk. So if you hop on the catalogue, you can search up a book about, okay, we've got plenty of Harry Potter books in the library. So Harry Potter title, and then this will show all of the results. So here you are, you can come down and you can see, and all of these books are available, which is fantastic. You can see there. Oh, this one's not. So this is important to look at. 0 of 1 means that book's been borrowed by someone else. Okay, so these computers are always available for students to look up books in the library. So this is more non-fiction. This section here is the 500s, and here you can learn all about biology, the environment, things like that. Very important issues. Animals, lots of animals. Do you know how to use these? No. This is really important. When students are borrowing, they come along and they take out a book and they put this in. They look at their book and they say, no, I don't want that book. And so they can put it back in exactly the right place. And it keeps our library organised. Okay, so that's really useful. This is our poetry corner. And so the poetry section is quite popular. And just over here, this is our collection, which has books from many different languages. Yeah, so we have Korean and we have Spanish.
French.
What else? Yeah, Japanese. And this section here is stories from around the world. The good thing about a library is you can always extend your loan. So our NYP students, you can have, I think it's 5 books at a time, and you can have them for 4 weeks. And then if you haven't finished, you can just re-borrow them, which is obviously what you did, right?
So you didn't even know it.
So you can do that, and then you don't get in trouble. If you renew your books, then you won't get an overdue notice. But if you do lose a book, you're right, you'll get a fine. And you'll be asked to pay. That's just so we can keep our wonderful collection here in the SWIS Library. Okay. So we're walking through the fiction section at the moment, and these books are mainly for PYP students, but NYP students should still come and read these books. I'm an adult reader, and I love these books.
This is my favourite place in grade 5.
Yeah, some of my favourite stories are right here on these shelves, and I love recommending them to children. Right here we have our Star Wars collection. Super popular with our younger children. They can't get their hands on enough Star Wars books. And so we have many, many Star Wars books right here. Usually there are children can't wait to get more Star Wars books. So if you see a book in our library that has a blue dot, let me just see if I can, it's a graphic novel, yeah. So a more classic graphic novel kind of looks like this, like a cartoon style. And so we have lots of images and not so many words. And we've got a great graphic novel collection, one here and one also out in the new area of the library, because graphic novels are really popular, and it's our world is becoming more visual now. We use pictures more and more to communicate, and so being able to read pictures is a really important skill. Books, we've actually got a classics selection over here, because books like, let me have a look, like some Shakespeare as a graphic novel. Okay, so for people who might not feel confident with their English skills being able to read Shakespeare, they can still access the text and become familiar with some Shakespeare through graphic novels. So it makes literature really accessible for some people during the week. So PYP students come in here and have library lessons, but after school it's our PYP homework hub. And so as you can see, if we go inside and have a look, we have some families sitting around doing their homework. Hello, how are you? We're just having a little tour of the library. Can you see the black dots on the books? Well, if you see a book with a black dot, it means that there are multiple copies. And this is a brand new section this year in the library, and what it means is if there's a black dot, there's more than one copy. We have multiple copies, and these books are for teachers to use in their class so that the children can study novels. You can have small groups reading the same book. They can do little book clubs, things like that. And so this is a wonderful resource, and we're just starting to use that across the school. And so this over here, what you asked about, this is the teacher collection. And so teachers come here and borrow books to help support their teaching. And this is the brand new section of the library. We love it.
I saw a lot of black dots.
Oh, lots of black dots. Now we're actually, do you notice the colour?
Yes, the yellow dot.
Do you know what that means?
No.
Maybe?
Maybe.
So the yellow dots are books that are for MYP and DP students mostly. Some of them are okay for PYP students, but generally they have content that's a bit more mature. Okay, so if a PYP student wants to borrow a book with a yellow dot, they just need to check with one of the library staff, and we'll advise whether the book's suitable or not. But for MYP or or DP students, they should look for the yellow dots. But don't forget the books out there as well in the PYP collection.
What is the letter for?
Oh, the letters on here.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Yes.
Good.
So this is F is fiction, and you will see NF is non-fiction books. And there's a second row of 3 numbers. Is that there's different sections like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then keeps etc. etc. And then you can find the books in alphabetical order.
Ah, perfect. And see, this one here has SPA, right? And have a look at the author's last name.
Oh.
See the connection?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's check another one. So just up here. Aha. So SHA and yeah. And so that means if we're looking for books by authors, that's how the books are organised by the author's last name. So earlier when we were looking at non-fiction and we looked at the numbers, the 800 section was all literature. So non-fiction is organised with using numbers, and fiction is organised using letters. And it's the letters of...
Are these in alphabetical order?
Alphabetical, yeah. And so A is all the way up there. Yep. And Z will be...
Right over there.
Oh, in fact, somewhere right here. So here we have, see, books that have Z on them. Right, can you see that?
Yes.
And then the black dot books start. Okay, so
Are these comics?
yeah, these are more graphic novels. They don't have blue dot, but look at this shelf. Did you notice we had 2 more of these?
It's kind of like a cube.
It is, and look, it's on wheels. Have a look. You can move it around. Oh, look at that. And these shelves were made by NYP students down in our design room downstairs.
Designed it?
Yeah. They designed them and they constructed them
Brilliant.
last year. Aren't they great? They made 3 of them for the library, and we love them. They hold so many books. We're very lucky that our SWIS students are so clever, right? This area is an open space that's really great for study. At lunchtimes, students sit around here. Sometimes they have their laptops. Sometimes they're reading, sitting here doing their homework. So this space is fantastic for that. Okay, it's kind of a study space. So it's like this. So there are lots of little quiet spaces in the library for reading. And so children will sit around here, they'll once again do the study, maybe just have a quiet chat, because the library is a great place just to come and relax as well. If people need a bit of time out, they can just come here and relax.
Are we one of these individual rooms?
So these are little pods that the classes often use. I think there are some advisory groups that come in here. Also, some teachers run their class. If they've got small classes, they might come and run them in here. And sometimes students book the space and might do some study in there as well. So upstairs again, here we go. So as you can see, there are students using this space after school, and it's wonderful. We've got a few study desks, people sitting around doing their study. Here we are, doing some work. Hello. Our diligent students.
I really like the design, but I wonder why is it designed like this?
Part of its aesthetic, it looks fantastic, but it's also functional. So we have many different levels. We're maximising the use of this big space we had here, and so designing over several levels has just maximised the space.
Is there any rules in the library I need to follow?
There are lots of rules in the library, of course.
No phone.
No phones.
No drinking, no snacks.
Yeah, in the library is a no phone zone, and the reason for that is because we want people to enjoy being in the space. And if people are in their phone, using their phones, just totally engaged, they're not appreciating being in the library.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So if we have parents who are in the library with their children, we want them to be with their children. We want them to be reading with them, or even just enjoying a book themselves, not just glued to their phones. So it's same for parents and for students. Yeah, we want people to just put their phones away while they're in the library.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I feel so lucky to work here. It's actually probably one of the most beautiful libraries. I think definitely in Shenzhen it's the most beautiful school library. It's really, really lovely. And you are very, very lucky students to be here and have access to these resources and all of the books we've got here. There's no excuse for anybody not to be reading all the time, I think.
Should we go to the next section?
Yeah. All right, let's go downstairs.
Yay!
What's downstairs for?
Oh, downstairs is our early years section, and lots of picture books for younger children. Want to go outside?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Now.
You don't have to do anything, and the chair's for you.
Yeah, it does.
Just thinking or go to sleep.
It's very relaxing, and if you've got a good book here, there's nothing better than sitting out here reading.
I think we have spin enough. Let's go.
Okay, you're not too dizzy?
Yeah, enough of spin. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It was made by a class who they decorated their classroom door.
Wow.
Yeah, using that.
The rainbow fish.
Yeah, it's a very, very famous story.
I like this shirt.
This is very popular. The dinosaur books are super popular, with younger people. This is our non-fiction section for downstairs. And so you'll see the numbers we talked about earlier.
Yeah, non-fiction.
Yeah, non-fiction, you're right.
And it says exactly, wait, I can't find it. It says exactly NF.
Yeah, NF,
Non-fiction.
you're right. And it's also 300, right, 333, so it goes in the 300 section. Yeah. People think they're just for young people, but they're great. Picture books are so much fun, and you can read them at many different levels. So people still love to read Dr. Seuss books. We have many, many Dr. Seuss books. And
Oh, Dr. Seuss.
yes.
The hat thing.
Yeah, the Cat in the Hat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're very popular, and this one's also great.
Wow.
Oh, so except for these activities, do we have any more activities that will be participated in the library?
In the library. Well, every lunchtime the library's open and children come in and do all sorts of different things. And then we have special events throughout the year. So in March we have Literacy Month, and nearly every single day there's something exciting to do connected to the library, connected to literature and reading, and it's a whole lot of fun. So that's coming up in March.
Can a MYP student come here and borrow books because some of them is weak?
Absolutely. So down in this area,
Yes.
anyone can borrow from here. Even parents can come and borrow from here. So parents can come and set up their own account, and they can borrow up to 3 books for 1 month at a time. Many parents come here after school and they're reading with their children. It's lovely.
Is
Really
this
lovely.
the Global Miners map?
Yeah, you're right. What a good connection. Yeah, this is our Chinese collection. So all around here, these books are all our Chinese picture books. So we have many Chinese picture books, which is really great because no matter which language you're reading in, it's the reading that's important.
After a whole tour of the library, I wonder where do we borrow our books?
I have 3 circulation desks. We have this one here, we have one upstairs, and then one up in the white area, the new area. Okay, so students can go, depending on where, there's usually a teacher librarian at each desk, so students can go wherever suits them, really. So NYP students can check out down here or upstairs, and PYP same.
So either of them are okay?
Yep. So, girls, I think that's probably, you've seen most of the library now.
Yeah,
It's huge! Huge!
Oh, high five!
Yeah, high five. The library is fantastic. So thanks for coming in. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you in here borrowing.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cullen.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Bye-bye. See you later. Okay, bye.